Breast Cancer Month is now upon us, and a mobile app called Cancer Dojo empowers people with cancer and serves as an informative tool for persons living and affected by cancer. Well, this means that the app helps people engage with their cancer and is about moving away from being helpless. The Cancer Dojo app empowers cancer patients with the positive mindful purpose during a time of stress and provides a simple, informed, user-friendly journey about ways of dealing with cancer. But to tell us more, we joined from our Cape Town studios by the creator of the app, Conn Bertish, and cancer survivor Ashraf Majiet. A very good morning to you two gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Hi, Simpiwe. Thank you very much for having us.
Hi, how's it going?
Great stuff. Now, Conn, I'm going to start with you. In as much as this is such a great innovation, but then I suppose there's still unanswered questions as to how this app works and that correlation between cancer and a mobile app. Do shed some light on this.
Yeah, I think one of the powers that we have is how to use technology to empower people. And one of the big issues with cancer is that cancer patients feel disempowered and in a helpless state, just like their supporters also feel helpless. So one of the things we've done is we've created almost a creative user journey which gives a patient a participatory role in their own healing. So it challenges them to change their behavior and to become part of the healing process, as opposed to just being a traditional patient or somebody who feels helpless in the challenge of cancer. By empowering people with an active role, they're able to pull themselves out of helplessness and thereby affect their resiliency, which means making them a harder opponent for the cancer and becoming far more active in what they're doing, which is shown to build their resiliency and give them a better chance of a more positive cancer outcome.
Well, Conn, I hear you talk about the patients being pulled out of being helpless. So let's talk about the content. What is in that app?
So basically, in the app, we go through 16 levels of positive behavior change, which essentially we use creativity, games, challenges, tasks, visualizations, so that you can imagine what's going on inside your body and you can actively play a role in thinking in a certain way. So what it does is it taps into the science of psychoneuroimmunology, which is how what we think and do can affect how our bodies behave. So by doing that, we literally take people on a journey from helplessness to actively engaged, using a range of different creative techniques and methodology. And this man is a perfect example, and he's actually created some further images and illustrations that go into the app. So we see this mobile app less of a product and more of a movement of people coming together, creating an entirely new positive user journey for patients through their cancer. And not only that, because it's a mobile app, you can carry it wherever you go. It's kind of like a cancer coach in your pocket. And for supporters who feel just as disabled as cancer patients, now they can actually gift the app, so that you can actually make your loved one or your friend going through cancer, you can gift them to help make them stronger. So it's really about shifting mindset from helplessness to actively engaged. And that's kind of the creative journey, recovery, back to recovery on the mobile app, Cancer Dojo.
Now, Ashraf, let me bring you into this conversation. I mean, as a cancer survivor yourself, Conn has just said that, you are a perfect example of what this app has done to help cancer patients. So in what way has it contributed in helping you throughout your healing journey?
So I think Conn mentioned it earlier. Mindset is so key when you're dealing with a lot of things in life, and particularly when you hear those words from your doctor that, like, you've actually got cancer. It's not the kind of stuff you want to hear. In my case, I think both of us, we're both from a creative background. Conn and I actually worked together a little bit a few months ago. Well, actually last year, a couple of years back. So that's where we first actually got to know each other. But being in a creative environment, like, there's a lot of fun elements, but can also be super stressful at the same time. But what you learn in a creative world is that like for us, we both from advertising. What we have to do on a day-to-day basis is take normal things and make it and hyperbolize it, turn it into like something that looks insane, looks even way cooler than you thought it was. So it's like, how do you sell water, basically? You know what I mean? Like everyone's selling water. How do you make the one water cooler than the next? Treating cancer and kind of trying to tell your mind how to treat cancer is a similar process. Cancer can sound like an overwhelming thing, but for me, it was almost a weight off my shoulders. I looked at it as a way to actually take some time off for myself, and I was forced to look at myself now and spend that time with myself. In a weird way, it felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders, and I just wanted to know like what's the next step, you know, like so as you know you go through that process of doing too much research. You go into in deep, like Google becomes like your best friend and worst enemy at the same time. And then I remembered the Cancer Dojo app, and what's so great about that, it learns you it's what we've learned like over years. It almost packages that into like one simple easy to use app, you know. It almost gamifies in a way the process, you know, and I really enjoyed that part. It helps you kind of create analogies for certain things, and not just for cancer itself, but everything else that comes with cancer. Like the minute you hear cancer, it's like now you're in hospitals like 24/7. It's like all of those processes. You can look at it in two ways. It's either that process is a loss and you don't want to deal with it, or actually that process for me, and the Dojo app actually taught me that, is like doodling, you know, like there's one of the stages is actually all about doodling, and it's something that I love.
Okay.
And you'd think in a creative environment you do that.
Now, Ashraf, we don't have much time, unfortunately, but you just said that you know, you took it upon yourself to research more information on cancer through Google, through the internet. But do you think that enough an awareness is at South Africans' disposal, those who are affected by cancer in a way, cancer patients, cancer survivors? Do you think there's enough information in terms of how they should change their lifestyles and how they should live with this debilitating disease?
Definitely not. I think most people, is until you actually realize that you have to deal with it, either it's a close family member or it's yourself, everyone thinks it's a really negative thing. And yes, it's quite something to deal with, but it doesn't have to be that way. I think there's actually a lot of information out there. The Cancer Dojo app is actually a really great start. I would have started there rather than go to Google if I had to kind of go through this all like from the scratch.
Yeah, we like to say at Cancer Dojo, we like to say that this is the best time in human history to have cancer, because we now know far more about how our minds and our bodies and what we think and what we do can have a powerful effect on how our bodies behave, and also about how you can live your life and become happier, healthier, and we like to say harder to kill. And, this is the motto.
Conn, a great move on that creation. Thank you so much to you two gentlemen for joining us. Much appreciated. That was Conn Bertish talking to us about the Cancer Dojo app, which seeks to, it aims to turn cancer patients into cancer survivors by being an information tool by those affected. He was also joined by a cancer survivor, Ashraf Majiet, joining us live from our Cape Town studio.